What's up guys, it's Raccoon back with another video, and in this video we're going to be talking about iOS 14 and the main features that it packs. Now I know a lot of people have already made a video on this, but I thought I may as well just make a video on it and join in. So I've installed the iOS 14 beta 1 on my personal smartphone on the iPhone 7, and it's been running great actually. Not too many crashes. I've only crashed once. So iOS has introduced a few different things now. For starters, they've introduced widgets. At this current moment, it's only for Apple apps, but soon it'll be for third-party apps as well. And so basically what it is like a little 2x2 app, or it can also be 4x2 or even 4x4 sized square or rectangle that has a bit of information on it and quick access toggles and things like that, which are really useful in my opinion. For example, on my home screen I have one for weather, and so you can actually have a small weather one which is 2x2 app icons, and that'll show just the temperature. And then when you go for a 4x2, which is what I have, then it will show the weather, and then it'll also show the weather during different times of the day. And if you go into the 4x4 widget size, then you will be able to see what the next day's weather will be and stuff like that. Now, in my opinion, that's a bit overkill for the weather app, but there are apps where you might find that useful. Also, these widgets can be dragged off onto the normal widgets page in iOS 13, and they look a bit better. They're a bit more bubbly. They look more like the icons, and that's nice. So you can choose if you want it on the widget page or if you want it on your home screen. And of course, Android's already had this for years, pretty much since it started almost. And so this is quite old for Android. But the thing is, I never ever used widgets on Android because I just hated how they just looked pretty garbage, and they just weren't implemented well. While with Apple, it's implemented perfectly. They look seamless with the app icons, and the implementation here is really good on Apple's half. So even though it took them a very long time to finally bring in widgets, they did, and they've done it well. And moving on to the second biggest thing Apple introduced, they finally introduced an app drawer, or as Apple likes to call it, an app library. And so here it is categorized into little 2x2s, which fit at least 4 apps. And if you have more than 4 apps in that category, then it'll come up on the third app as another set of 4. And so if you click that set of 4, then it'll bring you up to all the apps that are in that category. But if you have less than 4, or you have 4, then it'll just come up with no extra thing to touch. Also, if you swipe up, then it'll take you to a search bar to search through all your apps, and it'll also have an A to Z categorizing list here, and you can also access that through just tapping the app library search bar at the top. So I find this quite useful, and I really like that they finally added in an app library or app drawer. So the way you access this is by swiping left through all your home screens until you get to the last one here, and that'll be the app library. And you can also finally remove home screens, well, not home screens, but different pages, by just touching and holding the home screen, and then all the apps will start jiggling, and then you'll see the 2 dots at the bottom, or how many you have, and you just click on that, and that'll take you to this pages page where you have all your different pages, and then you can just tick them, or you can untick them, and if you untick them, then they won't show up anymore. So then you only have as many as you choose. So you can basically remove apps and they'll be just in the app library. So for me, I only have one app page because that's how I like it, and then I just swipe to the left to access my app library or app drawer. And so it's very nice, it's very seamless. So those are the main features of iOS 14. There are a few other things that I have noticed, and I'm only going to mention the things that I haven't heard other people talk about yet. So one of the first things that I like and I find very useful, in my opinion, it's probably not that useful for a lot of you guys, but before in iOS 13.5, when I sent a message with a photo, the message would send first and then the photo would send. And I'd find that extremely annoying because my message would usually be a description of the photo or video or whatever it is. And now finally they've fixed that, and so now the photo sends first. Well, they actually send basically together. So the photo gets processed and then they both send together, which is really good. I find that quite useful, but for a lot of people probably couldn't care less. Also, Apple added a picture-in-picture mode, which I'm sure a lot of you have already heard about. So when you go into a video, or it doesn't work in photos yet from my experience in the beta, but when I go and open a video in Safari and then I put it in full screen and then I click the home button, then it'll come up on my screen and I can just drag it around the home screen wherever I like, or in another app. It's so useful, and I'm glad that Apple finally added it in. And well, that means that they'll hopefully in the future even add more multitasking features, but this is a great start, Apple. Sadly, this does not work on YouTube yet, and I don't think they'll be adding it in anytime soon, but hopefully they do, because that'll be really nice and it'll be super useful. I also hope that they finally add split screening, but we'll have to see for a further update if they do. Also, Apple has put an even bigger emphasis on security now, as if an app is using either your camera or your microphone, it'll show either a orange dot at the top right hand corner of the screen if the microphone is on, or a green dot if the camera is on. And also, another little thing I've noticed is the battery life has actually improved on my iPhone 7 by a bit. Not that much, but it was significant enough for me to notice, so that's a nice thing, and I'm happy that the battery life actually has improved. Also, another little minor thing that I noticed is when I am in a landscape mode and then I swipe up to the control center, the controls are a little bit different. I'm pretty sure they are just a little bit different, and you'll probably notice this when you go into iOS 14. But that's about it from me, guys. Hope you did enjoy this video. I know a lot of people have already covered this, but hopefully to at least one person you would have heard something new from this video. Anyway, leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Leave a dislike if you didn't, and remember to subscribe, and it helps out the channel a lot. So I'll see you guys in the next video.